This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I know everybody out there, for the most part, is familiar with...
Oh, so this is a call for an uprising. Sorry. Call for an uprising is a conspiracy theorist, a denier of all sorts of medical information, so of course I don't endorse anything that a call for an uprising says. He is wrong about just about everything. So, see what he has to say today.
With this, I just don't have any videos on it. I mention them all the time in my videos when talking about Freemasons and the occult. But I wanted to have a video out there because there are a lot of people who aren't aware of who the Eastern Star is. So, ladies...
I don't think Baha is here right now, Daddy Sume. She might be doing lab stuff.
You're not off the hook.
She might be listening in the background while she's doing lab stuff, if I had to guess, because she hasn't commented in a while.
For those of you who think that all of these satanic cults are all men's only cults or started by men, because we know the Freemasons only accept men, well, the Eastern Star, the Order of the Eastern Star, is the female version of the Masonic Order. Now, it's not an only woman's club, because men do have the right to join, but it is basically completely operated and run by women. It has pretty much the same rules that are required in Freemasonry taught to females, which means ultimately that these people worship, or these women, I should say, worship Lucifer. And this is another...
They don't worship Lucifer. Freemasonry and its subsidiaries, or whatever you want to call them, have nothing to do with Satanism. Why are you saying this? In fact, many Freemasons are, like, highly religious, and I don't mean in Satanism, I mean they're Christian. Why do you think they're Satanists? Other than the bullshit symbology stuff.
Recruiting ground for people who are female to get into the order and to
female. Hi, kitty.
Start spreading their cancerous beliefs around local towns in America. Now, what's really humorous about this is we know that the Freemasons, right, they claim that they're not Satanists and they don't worship Lucifer, even though the books that they read, the teachings that they read, go to Pike's teachings, all teach that.
In what way? Can you cite me a specific passage that says that? Because typically, if you're going to give a citation, you want to read a passage to demonstrate that your citation is actually saying what you are saying? That would be super helpful.
What's funny about the Order of the Eastern Star is all one would have to do with common or little knowledge of the occult is look at their logo. The upside down pentagram, right?
Again, the symbol of a 5-pointed star. I'm sorry, I'm getting sleepy already. Apologies. The symbol of a 5-pointed star in that configuration, it's not hard to come up with that in terms of, like, graphic design if you're trying to design some sort of logo for your organization. It's kind of a cool design. Satanists don't have a monopoly on 5-pointed stars.
That is the satanic pentagram as their logo. So they're not even saying that they're Wiccan, which when you see the upright pentagram, that's the regular pentagram is supposed to be for witches, people who practice witchcraft. The upside down is people who are satanic, right? We see the Satanic Temple uses it as their logo. We see it all over the place, the Baphomet pentagram. And the women's division of Freemasonry, Eastern Star, is based upon the Satanic Star, the goat's head of Mendes.
I don't think they thought that when they made it. I think they just thought it was a cool design.
And it is one of the infernal names of Satan within Satanism. In looking at the Eastern Star goat's head, the star itself is a goat's head, and the star in the middle is a plain goat's head, which is within an inverted pentacle. In one symbol, there are 3 instances of inverted pentagrams. So, just how important is the pentagram to the Satanists? The Witch of Salem, Laura Cabot, on this question in her book, Power of the Witch, the Earth, the Moon, and the Magical Path, to Enlightenment says, it really isn't that difficult to distinguish the craft from Satanism, which is where the pentacle with the point up, Satanist...
You're getting your information from one Wiccan person or someone who calls themselves a witch. Here's the thing, Call, and this is something that I don't think we'll ever be on the same page about because you believe in the supernatural for some reason. Witches aren't real. There are people who call themselves witches and cast spells, but there's no such thing as magic. No one has any ability to do magic. Satan doesn't exist. Like, none of this is an issue. People are just weirdos.
Reverse it with the point down. So all one would have to do is look and see the logo itself to just dismiss this and not even go any further and go, this is a group of female Satanists, women who worship Lucifer. Now, of course, what happens with these orders, especially here with the Order of the Eastern Star, which was, of course, set up by a Freemason, Robert Morris, because they felt at the time that they needed to organize women and start teaching this to women as well as men. But what they try to do with all of these things is say that the order is based on teachings from the Bible. That is...
Again, I think a lot of people who are Freemasons are very religious. They're Christian or Catholic or something. I don't really know. Catholics are Christian, obviously, but I just mean to make a differentiation because there's a pretty big difference between Protestants and Catholics, but yeah, no.
Is nothing more than a lie. These people do not believe in Jesus Christ. They do not follow
Most of them probably do. Most people in the United States are Christian, so stands to reason most people who are Freemasons are probably going to be religious in some way, and that religion is probably going to be Christianity.
Father in heaven. They follow Satan, but they'll tell you that they follow the Bible. That's why people go, I thought Masons believe in God. No. The order is based on teachings from the Bible, they claim, but says it is open to people of all religious beliefs.
Okay, in what way does that make them Satanists for allowing other people other than Christians to join them? That's not Satanism.
And the real thing that they all have to do is worship.
The Catholic Church doesn't like Freemasons. It's Protestant in origin. Okay.
That there is believe that there is a higher power. Now, they don't say Yahweh. They don't say Jesus. They say just you have to...
Kitty, don't pause the video.
believe that there is somebody out there. There's some supernatural power. I believe the exact quote that they use is they say that one follower or member of the organization has to believe in a supreme being.
Yeah, AA does the same thing. They'll say that you don't have to be Christian, but they'll say, oh, you just have to believe in a higher power. Of course, typically that's Christianity, but it's not for everyone, right? They're trying to be inclusive in some way. I kind of like this camera angle. Honestly, I should have just started the stream with just hands, because I gesticulate a lot anyway. Would have been a unique stream format, and I wouldn't have to worry about my face.
In other words, they want you to come in with that mindset or say, listen, you have to believe in a supreme being. As you move throughout the lodge, you find out to them that they're teaching you that Lucifer is the supreme being.
The Freemasons are not teaching anyone that Lucifer is the supreme being.
These people go along with it once they're...
Found an Order of the Eastern Star teacup. Let me take a look. Ooh. I honestly kind of I'm not going to buy it, but I do kind of want to get this to drink from during my segments on A Call for an Uprising. That'd be funny.
They're in, they can't get out. You can see some of the video clip that I'm showing above in this video. You can see them using the same secret Masonic handshakes, wearing the same embarrassing bibs. I mean, you think maybe they'd update these outfits, right? They're wearing bibs, for crying out loud. What are they, 3 months old?
I assume it's just part of their, like, ceremonial gear? I don't know. Different, like, organizations wear different stuff. Have you seen what, like... priests wear? Have you seen what nuns wear? Have you seen what all sorts of different religions or different organizations have people wear? It's pretty common.
Got bibs on, got white gloves on. I mean, they think they're some type of royal elite.
Did I upgrade? Because I don't have white gloves. I have silver gloves. Ooh.
But they're not. And what's funny, too, about the Eastern Star is that even on their website, the first thing they'll do is deflect. They'll say frequently asked questions. Is the Order of the Eastern Star a secret society? Answer, no. Secret societies are underground and hard to find. We are easily found within the community, but we enjoy a distinctive means of identifying each other. Only members are allowed in closed meetings. So if members are allowed in closed meetings, those are secret meetings between
Not really. Like, if it's open to the public and anyone can join, then it's not secret, it's private, right? Like, my local town has, like, a country club in it, right? The country club isn't secret, but you do have to be a member to go there. Another example up in the chat right now, Sam's Club is a secret store. Yeah, it's not secret, you just need to be a member. And I'm pretty sure membership to this is probably free, so just go join if you want. That's fine.
members of an organization, which would make it a secret society.
Just go join. If you want to see what they're talking about, go join. It's probably really boring. They're most likely talking about, like, community events and stuff and planning, oh, what are we going to do for the high school? We're going to raise money for the football team or whatever bullshit they do. They plan, like, community stuff.
Are they that stupid that they just can't even realize they just, answered the question the opposite way after saying no? But see how they have to
It's not the opposite. Saying that only members are allowed in closed meetings isn't the opposite of saying I'm a secret society. They're the opposite of a secret society. Anyone can join them. That's not secret.
Select that right off the top. And the only other thing that's important for people to know is that they have to worship a supreme being. But all one would have to do is look at the logo and see. These are women.
Or, how about this? You look at symbols and get incorrect conclusions from said symbols.
Women who are being indoctrinated with the Masonic teachings. And they're showing you in their logo flat out that they're Satanists.
Well, that wouldn't be a very secret organization then, would it? If that were the case, then they'd just be an organization that's showing you right at the front. So which is it? Are they a secret organization? Or are they upfront about the fact that they're Satanists? Can't be both, can it?
And every town has one of these. Every town has one of these. The Order of the Eastern Star was established in the late 1800s by Robert Morris, who was a famous Masonic author who believed that women should be allowed to partake in the knowledge of Freemasonry. Throughout the years, he conceived the idea of the Order of the Eastern Star where, since Freemasonry could not allow women to become members, women would be given the opportunity to learn Masonic values and use them for self-improvement through this separate fraternity. I mean, this is the crap that they push.
Wouldn't that be a sorority? Is it not a fraternity when it's men and a sorority when it's women?
Improvement, we're a group of friends, we're good for the community. Of course, they push philanthropy on the Wikipedia. If you just go to the Wikipedia page, which obviously doesn't give you any real information, it just gives you a scarce background, and it tells you some of the officers within the 18 main officers in a full chapter of the Eastern Star. Stuff like the worthy matron, the worthy patron. I mean, how embarrassing. Are we playing make-believe here? These people 10 years.
Kinda. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I find little clubs like this to be a little, That's why I'm not interested in joining them. But yeah, clubs and fraternities and sororities or whatever come up with grandiose sounding titles for some of the people in charge. It's a little silly, but it's their club. They can do what they want.
Years old.
Look even some of them are named after specific biblical figures. Ada, Ruth, Esther, Martha. Like, these are biblical allusions. They're alluding to biblical characters. They're not Satanists.
Playing with teacups. They have the conductress, the chaplain, the marshal who presents the flag, Ruth, Esther, Martha. I mean, it's just really, it's ridiculous. But, the fact that they're Satanists make it something serious and a concern that people should be aware of. But, I mean, it's just embarrassing when you look at it. But anyway, it talks about the charities they're involved in. Remember, philanthropy is how they get away with a lot of this stuff. Because they make these secret societies, these secret orders, look like they're doing good for society and good for the community. They show up, and really what they're doing is they're trying to recruit people. Now, I never even leave my house.
They're probably trying to recruit people because every club wants to have members, especially if they have to, pay dues or whatever to ensure that they can keep the club running. But I imagine a lot of the people who join this who are probably going to tend to be older people, at least in my experience. Like my grandfather, he wasn't part of the Freemasons, but he was part of a different similar fraternity club. It's called the Lions Club or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know the symbol had a lion on it. And they had a clubhouse, which I've been to. It's just a little thing that they hang out at with a TV and a fridge, and they just hang out there or whatever. And they did the Lions Club, yeah. They did community events. They'd plan what's the word? County fair that they would do every year with a carnival. They would always plan that. They'd do concerts that they'd set up. So yeah, it's stuff like that. They're community organizers and people who do things charitably for the community, and they enjoy doing those things, and it also gives them an opportunity to hang out with like-minded people. Like any club. That's the point. It's not nefarious.
But I did go to one of those fall, food festivals. Was a couple towns over, an hour or so away. And I just said, all right, I need to get out of the house before I get cabin fever here. So I went to see maybe there's some good grub, right? And what they have at these things is...
This part's great. I watched this one yesterday.
They have, women and men. They try to sell stuff that they've, carved with wood. Bird houses or, stuff they've knitted, like winter hats and scarves. I mean, just kind of, and then local, jellies and jams that people have made, right? So they have some tables set up, and then they have food. And of course, I never leave the house. I get there, I see some of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying any of this. I don't want it, and I don't need it. But I'm walking through it, just trying to get some air, and what do I see? A gigantic table set up for the Eastern Star with a giant pentagram sitting there. Satanic pentagram, right? And a sign, and it says, we're giving, come by, try our pie. I was trying to warn people, the pie probably had poison in it. And I did yell something over. I said, effing witches, excuse me, but I did. And I'm pretty positive that they heard it because they were staring me down. But remember...
A call for an uprising. A real person that exists, whatever his real name happens to be, went to a place where there's a community event where they have a bunch of people purveying their goods. And these ladies, I don't think this is an actual photo of the specific women he did this to, but something similar to this, had a little booth for their club. Hey, come be a part of our club. It's fun. Come make some friends. Help the community. And he yelled at them, fucking witches! And he thinks he's not a crazy person. Oh, God.
Remember, these Satanists can also sense the Holy Spirit in people. And they had their eyes on me the entire time I was there. But regardless...
That's paranoia.
What I'm trying to say is that these organizations are out and about in communities trying to recruit, and people do join, right? So back to the charities, they go on to talk about how for Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, all this stuff they donate money to. This gives people the perception that they're an organization that is here to help the community, to help the world. That is one of the main, deceitful practices that they practice. This goes back to, the Masons, the Skull and Bones, all of them. And they all teach each other that, to be philanthropists. That's why...
Look at these powerful Satanists controlling the world. I guess their control of the world's about to get released because they all look quite old. I have nothing against these people. Good for them for having a fun little club. I don't care. I just find it funny that a call for an uprising thinks that these people are Satanists in charge of the world.
All these people in Hollywood are always talking about charities they work with. It's all part of keeping people in control and looking at these organizations as if there's something better or nicer than they really are, that, no, there's no way these people can...
I don't think anyone thinks about the Freemasons ever, except for conspiracy theorists and people who need to find a place to hold their daughter's quinceañera.
Could worship Satanists. These people are witches, Satanists. That's what they are. Okay? And if you ever seen some of the women in the Eastern Star, woof. I'll tell you that much.
Really? They're old ladies. Come on. Really? Ooh, Order of the Eastern Star gavel, you say? And you can customize what it says? Oh, no. Nope, I can't. I'm trying to save money. I can't. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll save that for if this still exists, like, later in the year. Maybe I'll consider it.
Boy, you think these people who are practicing all this witchcraft and Satanism...
Or if someone... Yes, there's the P.O. Box address if someone wants to get me a gift. My birthday is on the 12th this month.
And devoting their life to the devil might ask, maybe to Satan to do a little something to their teeth or their faces, but I guess not. Anyway, the Order of the Eastern Star does unite men and women who share the same values and can learn from each other. In around 1850, Morse published the Rosary of the Eastern Star, which contains everything he had been working on, quote-unquote biblical lessons.
The link is already in the chat, Daddy Sume. Pyromancer linked it.
Values and principles of the Order, signs, emblems, and everything relevant to the Eastern Star. Morris went on to initiate his wife and his daughters. The initiation process in this is pretty much the same as the Masons. It's close to, knowing someone, having a family member who was one, getting recommended by somebody of a certain power in there to become a member. That's how these secret societies work. They do background checks on you and everything like that. But one of the last things I want to say, which is important, is that the Eastern Star, was set up around a lot of churches back in the late 1800s. And they would trick people, and they'd say, this Eastern Star group, we're a group, and we follow the Bible, and even with the pentagram symbol, because nobody knew what it meant. And they would recruit people in churches, and they would still pretend and present themselves as if they were good following Christians. That they...
If someone were to get it for you, what would you want it to say? Probably either... I'll give some options. Probably either just Tinfoil Tuesday, or Judge Hannah, or Be Trippin'. either any of those are good.
They believed in Jesus Christ, and it's nothing but deceit. They still do this. They still try to get away.
It's okay. Baja's gonna come for my birthday. And then I probably will. Buzzing.
With this. They still kind of will say that they follow the Bible, but they'll say, no. Well, we're open to all religions now because, we're getting to that point where it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to realize that these people aren't Christian. Back in the 1800s, everybody was falling for all this stuff with the Masons and with them. But don't fall for this kind of crap. If you see these people, call them out for what they are. This is the female version of the Masonic Order. Again, men can also join it, but it's good to just have somewhat knowledge of it. You don't need to know deep details of what they teach and what each thing on their star represents, because then you're just, learning more about them. And
information bad. In
a sense that you don't need to know, but just be aware that they're in your town. They're recruiting in our towns. They're out there. So
what is this called? The Order of the whatever. Let's take a look and we'll learn more about them to see what information Call for an Uprising doesn't want us to learn, shall we? How do I find these amazing videos? I just have a talent for attracting crazy. Freemasonry for women. HFAF. Is this it? The Honorable Fraternity of Ancient Freemasons. No, that's not it. What the heck did he call them?
When you see them, let them know. Call them witches. Say, we know what you do. We know what you practice.
Order of the Eastern Star. Thank you. Membership eligibility is the same for the Grand Chapters and subordinate chapters that are affiliated with the General Grand Chapter, blah, 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 blah. Are you going to actually tell me about it? Come on. Maybe they just have a Wikipedia page. Order of the Eastern Star is a Masonic, pendant body open to both men and women. It was established in 1850 by a lawyer and educator, Rob Morris, a noted Freemason, but was only adopted and approved as a pendant body of the Masonic fraternity in 1873. The order is based on some teachings from the Bible, but is open to people of all religious beliefs. It has approximately 10,000 chapters in 20 countries and approximately 500,000 members under its General Grand Chapter. Members of the Order of the Eastern Star are aged 18 and older. Men must be Master Masons, and women must have specific relationships with Masons. Originally, a woman would have to be the daughter, widow, wife, sister, or mother of a Master Mason, but the order now allows other relatives, as well as allowing Job's daughters, Rainbow Girls, members of the Organization of Triangles, and members of the Constellation of Junior Stars to become members when of age. You have to be related to a Mason? That's gross. You mean I can't just join? No, you must be related to someone from this other club. Gross. The emblem of the order is a 5-pointed star, with the white ray of the star pointing downwards towards the manger. The meaning of the letters fatal surrounding the center pentagon in the emblem is only revealed to members of the order. In the chapter room, the downward pointing ray points to the west. The character building lesson taught in the order are stories inspired by biblical figures. Ada, Jephthah's daughter from the Book of Judges, an Eastern Star. Ada is represented by the color blue and a sword and veil. Ada represents the virtue of obedience and duty. Ruth, the widow from the Book of Ruth, an Eastern Star. Ruth is represented by the color yellow and a sheaf of barley. Ruth represents the virtue of religious principles. Esther, you get it. These are all biblical figures that represent this symbol. This symbol is the opposite of satanic. This symbol is aggrandizing female biblical figures. No wonder a call for an uprising is like, don't look up what these things mean. Because it completely flies in the face of everything he's just rambled on about for however many minutes. 14 minutes and you're completely thrown in the trash by reading a cursory glance at their Wikipedia page?
We're not stupid. The gig is up, because it is up. The devil's time is short, and these people know it. And they're doing everything they can to shut down YouTube, shut down the internet, shut down people's personal websites that are giving...
I don't think a secondary add-on to the Freemasons have any control over YouTube, but, you know, that's just me speaking from reality.
This information away because they got their hands caught in the cookie jar. You know, they didn't realize that so many people were going to start catching on because they don't respect God. And God spreads this knowledge to people to wake people up. He wants to wake his people up from this slumber that everybody is in. and show you that they have tried to fictionalize the Bible, they've tried to fictionalize God, they've tried to fictionalize the devil.
That's not a hard task.
So they can get away with this stuff. So people will go, oh, that's not true. That's not what they practice. And the signs and the symbols reveal it all. It's right in our faces. Look at the symbol for the Eastern Star. Okay?
It literally says right here, Ada, Ruth, Martha, Esther, Electra.
The same symbol, the Baphomet star, the pentagram, it's associated with Satanism and the occult. Satanic Temple's got the same symbol. Okay, it's not a coincidence. They didn't just pick it and go, well, we really liked stars and we wanted to flip it upside down because we thought it would look cool.
It's probably literally that. It is literally that.
And then they go on to say that they teach the Bible inside of their, secret meetings. It's a joke. An absolute joke. So keep your eye.
Let's see. Logos with stars. Look at all these companies that have star-based logos. It's almost like people like stars as a symbol and will use them in their product logos or company logos or whatever. And sometimes people will take that star and they'll flip it a different direction. Funny how that works, huh? We could do this all day. We could go and look at all the logos with stars in them. Just keeps going. You get it.
Try out for these witches in your town. They won't be hard to find. They'll probably be missing teeth and have mustaches. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.
If you've ever
Call for an uprising is not okay, and has never been okay.
If you've ever had the... This is...
Of Q and the people who have actually fallen into a government psyop and truly believe it, Donald Trump is going to be returning to office on March 4th. Huh?
The one thing I do think is funny is that even a call for an uprising makes fun of the Q people.
Or as we would say, let's channel our inner 90s. Not. Okay, and before I do this video, I want to make it clear. I am not a QAnon supporter. I don't believe in Trump or Biden. I don't believe this is a republic. I don't believe in political parties. I believe it's all part of divide and conquer.
So that's a call for an uprising for today. I'm sure we'll get back to him next week. He has no end to the ridiculous content that he can put out, so I appreciate that.